My child, what feels like rejection may be protection. The distance that is hurting you may not be the end of my care. It may be the place where I am trying to show you what has been holding too much power over your heart. I know their silence has confused you. I know their distance has made you question yourself. But before you chase what is moving away, I want you to pause and listen to me. Not every distance is meant to destroy you. Sometimes distance reveals what your heart has been depending on. Sometimes the space you did not ask for becomes the place where I begin to heal what attachment has been hiding. I am not saying they never mattered. I am not saying your pain is not real. I am saying that if their absence can steal your peace completely, then their presence may have been sitting in a place I never meant for them to hold. My child, I am calling you deeper than panic. Do not run after them only because loneliness is loud. Do not pull them closer only because the silence feels unbearable. Do not mistake the ache of separation for proof that you cannot live without them. You can miss someone and still be held by me. You can grieve distance and still be guided by my peace. Stay with me in this message. Before this word is finished, I will show you why this distance hurts so deeply, what it may be revealing, and how I can fill the empty space without letting you return to an attachment that was quietly stealing your peace. My child, you know the person this message is touching. You may not want to say their name out loud, but your heart already knows. There is someone whose distance has been affecting you more than you expected. Their silence feels heavier than it should. Their change in tone stays with you longer than you admit. You have tried to understand what happened. You have replayed moments in your mind. You have searched for signs that they still care. You have wondered whether you did something wrong, whether they are pulling away, whether this connection is fading, or whether you should do something to bring it back. I see that. I see the way your heart becomes restless when they are not as close as before. I see how you try to act normal while something inside you keeps waiting for their attention to return. I see how one small sign from them can make you feel hopeful again, and one more moment of distance can pull you back into confusion. My child, this is why I am asking you to pause, not to punish yourself, not to shame yourself for caring, but to notice what this distance is revealing. If their silence has the power to control your peace, then something deeper is being exposed. If their absence makes you feel like you are losing yourself, then I am showing you a place in your heart that needs my healing, not their attention. You may think the pain is only about them moving away, but I am showing you the attachment underneath the pain, the fear of being forgotten, the fear of being replaced, the fear that if they do not come closer again, something inside you will remain empty. My child, I understand why that hurts. You did not become attached overnight. It happened slowly, through closeness, comfort, hope, memories, and the desire to feel chosen. It happened through the part of your heart that wanted a safe place to rest. But no human presence can become your permanent refuge. No relationship, no memory, no message, no return can carry the weight of the peace that belongs in me. So before you chase, come to me. Before you explain, come to me. Before you let loneliness decide your next step, come to me. If this message is touching the place where distance has been stealing your peace, write this prayer in the comments. Show me what is stealing my peace. Let it be honest. Let it be your first step back into discernment. My child, I am not asking you to deny that you miss them. I am asking you to bring the ache into my presence before it becomes the voice that leads you, because the distance may hurt, but it may also be revealing the exact place where I want to heal you. My child, now I want to name what has been happening inside your heart. This distance has been speaking too loudly. Their silence has become more than silence. Their absence has become more than absence. Their change has begun to feel like a verdict over your worth, your place, and your future. That is why your peace has been so fragile. You are not only missing them, you are measuring yourself through their distance. When they pull away, something in you starts asking, was I not enough? When they become quiet, something in you wonders if you have been forgotten. When they seem different, your heart begins searching for what you did wrong, what you should fix, or what you can do to make the closeness return. My child, I see that cycle. And I am not saying this to shame you. I am saying this because I want to bring you back to peace. You have been trying to understand their distance with a heart that is already afraid. And when fear becomes the lens, everything looks like rejection. A delayed reply becomes a warning. A different tone becomes a threat. A little space becomes proof that you are losing something you cannot survive without. But I want you to pause. Not every space is a sign that you are unwanted. Not every distance is a sign that you have failed. Sometimes distance reveals where your heart has been depending on someone more than it has been resting in me. That is the condition I am naming. Attachment has been speaking louder than peace. Longing has been speaking louder than discernment. You may still love them. You may still care. You may still have memories that matter. But when their closeness becomes the thing that decides whether you can breathe, their place in your heart has become too large. I did not create your soul to be ruled by someone's nearness. I did not create your identity to collapse under someone's distance. My child, love can grieve distance without being controlled by it. Love can miss someone without chasing from panic. Love can hold tenderness without giving another person the power to decide whether you are whole. This is where I am bringing clarity, because the enemy loves to use distance as a doorway to fear. He will whisper that you are being abandoned. He will push you to chase before you pray. He will make the silence feel unbearable so you run back to what was stealing your peace. But I am teaching you to respond differently. Before you chase, pray. Before you assume, listen. Before you let fear write the meaning of this distance, bring it into my presence. My child, I know you want answers. You want to know if they are coming back, if they still care, if this is ending, if you should wait, speak, release, or protect your heart. Those questions matter, but they cannot be answered clearly while panic is leading you. Fear demands an answer immediately. Peace teaches you to listen first. That is why I am calling you to stillness, not passive stillness, holy stillness. The kind that says, Lord, I will not let loneliness choose for me. I will not let fear decide for me. I will not let attachment interpret this distance before your peace is spoken. This is where discernment begins. My child, look honestly at what this connection has been doing inside you. Has it made you more rooted in prayer? Or more restless in your thoughts? Has it drawn you closer to my voice? Or has it made their attention feel more urgent than my presence? Do not answer with shame. Answer with honesty. Honesty is the doorway to healing. If this message is helping you recognize where distance has been controlling your peace, like this video as a quiet agreement that your heart is returning to God, share it with someone who is hurting over distance and needs discernment instead of panic. And subscribe so these reminders can keep calling your soul back to prayer, healing, and holy peace. Now come back to me. Do not let even that action pull you away from the place I am touching. Let it become part of your surrender. Because this is not only about them. It is about the place they occupied inside you. It is about the power their presence had to lift you and their absence had to break you. It is about the way your spirit became unsettled when you could not feel secure in their response. My child, I am not condemning you for attachment. I am revealing it so I can heal it. Attachment often grows in places where love and fear have become tangled. You cared, but you also feared losing. You hoped, but you also began depending. You wanted closeness, but somewhere along the way, closeness began to feel like proof that you were safe. And when distance came, it touched that fear. That is why this hurts so deeply. It is not only the space between you and them. It is the space inside you that you are afraid will never be filled. But I am here in that space. I am not absent from the emptiness. I am not confused by your longing. I am not angry that you still feel the ache. I am standing in the very place where you feel exposed. And I am saying, let me be your peace here. Not after they return, not after they explain, not after everything becomes clear. Here, in the distance, in the uncertainty, in the part of your heart that is still learning how to be held by me without needing them to come closer first. My child, this is where your healing begins to become real. Not when every question is answered, But when you stop letting unanswered questions rule your soul, you may not know what they are thinking. You may not know what this distance means yet, but you can know that I am with you, and my presence is not waiting on their response. That truth must become stronger in you than the urge to chase. Because if you chase from fear, you may bring them closer for a moment and still remain unhealed. If you act from panic, you may receive a response and still feel unstable tomorrow. But if you return to me, something deeper will begin to settle. Your peace will slowly detach from their behavior. Your worth will slowly detach from their attention. Your heart will slowly remember that it was never created to survive on another person's closeness. This is not the end of love. This is the beginning of order. I am not asking you to decide everything today. I am asking you to stop letting distance decide who you are. I am asking you to stop letting absence become the loudest voice in your heart. Let me speak louder. Let my peace rise again. Let my love become the place your soul returns to when another person feels far away. My child, this is your current condition, but it is not your final place. You have been shaken by distance, but I am teaching you to become rooted again. And beneath this fear of losing them, there is a deeper wound I want to touch. The fear that if they truly walk away, the empty space they leave behind will be too painful for you to bear. My child, that is the ache underneath the ache. It is not only that they are distant. It is not only that things have changed. It is that their distance has opened a place in you that you do not know how to sit with. There is a space that feels too quiet now, a part of your day that used to be filled with their attention, their words, their presence, or the hope of hearing from them. And when that space becomes empty, your heart starts reaching for anything that might make it feel full again. That is why the distance feels so threatening. It touches the fear of being left. It touches the fear of being forgotten. It touches the fear that maybe you were easier to walk away from than you wanted to believe. My child, I am not rushing past that pain. I am sitting with you inside it. I know you have tried to be strong. I know you have told yourself that you should not care this much, that you should move on faster, that you should stop thinking about them. But your heart has not been healed by scolding itself. Your heart needs my presence, not shame, not pressure, presence. There is a part of you that still wants to chase them because chasing feels easier than sitting in the emptiness. If you reach out, at least you feel like you are doing something. If you check, at least you feel close to the situation. If you replay the memories, at least the connection does not feel completely gone. But my child, activity is not always healing. Sometimes it is avoidance. Sometimes your heart stays busy with them because it is afraid of what it will feel if everything becomes still. That stillness is where I am inviting you to meet me. Not because I want you to suffer, because I want to show you that the space they left is not too empty for me to fill. You have been afraid that if they do not return, the emptiness will swallow you. You have imagined days without their closeness, nights without their reassurance, moments when something reminds you of them and the ache rises again. You have feared that your heart will keep looking for them in every quiet place. I understand, but I need you to hear me clearly. The empty space is not stronger than my presence. The silence is not louder than my love. Their absence is not more powerful than my ability to restore you. This is the truth I am planting in you. You may have felt abandoned, but you are not abandoned by me. You may feel unseen by them, but you are not unseen by me. You may feel like something precious has moved away from you, but my nearness has not moved. My child, part of what hurts is that this distance has forced you to face what their presence was covering. Maybe their attention gave you temporary relief from loneliness. Maybe their words made you feel chosen for a moment. Maybe their closeness helped you avoid the deeper question your soul has been carrying. Am I still loved when no one is reaching for me? I answer that question now. Yes, you are loved when no one texts. You are loved when no one explains. You are loved when someone changes, pulls away, becomes unclear, or no longer gives you the attention you hoped would stay. Their distance can reveal your wound, but it cannot define your worth. That is why I am not only dealing with them, I am dealing with the place in you that thought their nearness was the proof of your value. My child, There is a difference between missing someone and needing them to be okay. Missing them means your heart cared. Needing them to be okay means your peace has been tied to their presence in a way that is too heavy for your soul. I am not mocking that need. I am healing it. Because somewhere along the way, your heart learned to cling. Maybe life taught you that love can disappear without warning. Maybe someone's inconsistency trained you to watch for signs of distance before it happens. Maybe the ache of being overlooked made you hold too tightly when someone finally made you feel seen. I saw those moments too. I saw what shaped this fear. I saw the old places where your heart learned to brace for abandonment. And now, this present distance is touching those old places. That is why the pain feels bigger than the situation itself. It is not only this person, it is the old wound being awakened through this person. But my child, what is awakened can also be healed. What is exposed can also be restored. The distance did not create the wound, but it may be revealing where I want to bring my hand. Do not waste this moment by only asking how to get them back. Ask me what I am trying to heal in you. Ask me what this ache is revealing about where your heart has been searching for safety. That question will lead you closer to freedom. Before you keep listening, pause in your heart and pray this with me. Jesus, show me the place in me that has been depending on their presence more than your peace. Then breathe slowly and let me enter the empty space you have been trying so hard to escape. My child, that prayer is not small. It is a turning point. Because when you invite me into the emptiness begins to change. It may still feel tender. It may still feel unfamiliar. But it is no longer a place where you are alone with your fear. I am there. I am not waiting until you feel strong to come near. I am coming near while your heart still trembles. This is where healing often begins. Not when the person returns. Not when every question is answered. Not when the distance finally makes sense. But when you let me be enough in the place where someone else used to have too much power. My child, I know part of you still wants a clear answer. You want to know whether this distance is temporary or final. You want to know if they will come back, if they miss you, if they still care, if the connection can be restored. Those questions are human, but they cannot become the place where your soul lives. If your peace waits for their answer, you will remain suspended between hope and fear. If your identity waits for their return, you will keep feeling unfinished. If your healing waits for their explanation, you may delay the work I want to begin in you today. So I am calling you back to the present moment, right here, right now. Not to the future you cannot control, not to the past you keep replaying, not to the version of them you wish would come closer again. Come back to me. There is enough grace for this breath. There is enough peace for this hour. There is enough love in my presence to hold the part of you that does not know what happens next. My child, the enemy will try to turn this distance into a story of rejection. He will point to the silence and say, "See, you were not worth staying for." He will point to the space and say, "You are being replaced." He will use the ache to tempt you back into chasing. But I am telling a different story. This distance may be where I reveal what had too much power. This space may be where I restore the voice you stopped hearing clearly. This ache may become the doorway through which I bring you back to me with a deeper, steadier heart. Do not let fear write the meaning of this season. Let me speak over it. Maybe I am protecting you from a cycle that kept draining you. Maybe I am giving your heart room to see what it could not see while it was clinging. Maybe I am not ending everything, but I am ending the way attachment has been ruling you. Hold that gently. Do not force a conclusion before I give clarity. Just allow me to heal what the distance has revealed. My child, I am not asking you to pretend this does not hurt. I am asking you to stop running from the hurt into the very attachment I am trying to loosen. I am asking you to let the ache become a place of prayer instead of panic. You can miss them and still not chase. You can feel the space and still not surrender your peace to it. You can carry questions and still let my presence be the answer your soul rests in today. This is the deeper healing. Not simply getting over someone. Not simply becoming stronger on the outside. but learning that no absence has the authority to empty you when my presence lives within you. You are not the abandoned one. You are the held one. You are not the forgotten one. You are the one I am drawing close in the quiet. My child, let me fill the space. Let me quiet the fear beneath the longing. Let me touch the old wound that this distance has uncovered. And when you stop trying to escape the emptiness, you will begin to discover that it was never empty of me. My child, this is where I want to change the way you see this distance. You have been looking at it as loss only. You have been feeling it as rejection only. But I am asking you to bring this pain into my light and let me show you what fear cannot show you. Not every distance is destruction. Not every silence is punishment. Sometimes distance becomes the space where your heart can finally see what closeness had been hiding. When someone is close and your soul is attached, it can be difficult to see clearly. Their attention can feel like peace. Their warmth can feel like safety. Their presence can become the thing you keep reaching for whenever old wounds begin to ache. But when distance comes, the truth rises. Not to shame you, to heal you. This distance may be showing you where your peace was too dependent on another person's nearness. It may be revealing where your identity had become too connected to their response. It may be uncovering the place where love slowly turned into chasing, waiting, overthinking, and fear of being left behind. My child, that revelation is painful, but it is also mercy. Because what remains hidden keeps ruling you. What comes into my light can be restored. You thought the distance was only taking something away, but I may also be using it to give something back. Your clarity, your peace, your ability to hear me without their voice becoming louder than mine. This does not mean they never mattered. It does not mean the connection was meaningless. It does not mean you must harden your heart and call the whole thing a mistake. It means I am bringing order to what became too heavy. There is a difference between love and attachment. Love can bless without possessing. Attachment clings because it is afraid of the empty space. Love can wait with peace when I lead it to wait. Attachment waits with anxiety, checking for signs, trying to read every silence, and living suspended between hope and fear. Love draws you closer to me. Attachment often pulls your attention away from me and places it on whether another person will come closer again. That is why I am reframing this season for you. The distance may not be proof that you are unwanted. It may be the place where I am teaching you that you are still loved when someone feels far away. It may be the place where I am showing you that your worth does not disappear when another person becomes uncertain. My child, I know you wanted closeness. I know you hoped the story would feel different. But sometimes I allow space because your heart needs room to breathe again. When you are always chasing, you cannot rest. When you are always reading signs, you cannot receive peace. When you are always trying to pull someone close, you may miss the ways I am calling you closer to me. So let the distance speak differently now. Let it ask, what has been ruling my peace? Let it ask, where have I been searching for safety outside of God? Let it ask, what part of my heart needs healing, not chasing? Those questions are not meant to wound you. They are meant to lead you home. Because my child, I am not only concerned with whether this person stays or goes. I am concerned with what happens to your soul while you wait, while you wonder, while you grieve, while you learn to release what you cannot control. I do not want you living in emotional survival. I do not want you waking up each day wondering if their nearness will decide your peace. I do not want your prayer life to become a place where you only ask me to bring back what might still be ruling you. I want you free. Free to love without fear, free to remember without being chained, free to discern without panic deciding for you. That is what protection can look like. Sometimes protection does not arrive as a closed door you understand immediately. Sometimes it arrives as a space you did not ask for. Sometimes it feels like being pulled back from something you still want, so I can show you what it was doing to your heart. Do not despise the space too quickly. There may be healing in it. There may be clarity in it. There may be a deeper invitation from me inside it. My child, if I am protecting you, I am not doing it to punish you. I am doing it because I love you too much to let your peace remain tied to something unstable. I love you too much to let longing become your master. I love you too much to let another person sit in the place where my presence belongs. That is why I am not asking you to chase from fear. I am asking you to pause in faith. Pause long enough to hear me. Pause long enough to see clearly. Pause long enough for your heart to stop confusing anxiety with love. You may still need answers. You may still need a conversation. You may still need wisdom about whether to wait, speak, release, or set a boundary. I am not asking you to ignore those things. I am asking you not to let panic lead them. Let peace lead. Let prayer lead. Let wisdom lead. And if I show you that this distance is protecting you, do not fight me simply because the familiar ache feels safer than unfamiliar freedom. Sometimes the old cycle feels like home because your heart has lived there too long. But I am not calling you back to the cycle. I am calling you back to wholeness. There is peace beyond chasing. There is rest beyond overthinking. There is life beyond the fear that you cannot be okay unless they come closer again. My child, I can fill what they left empty. I can steady what their inconsistency shook. I can restore what attachment drained. And I can teach you to hold this person, this memory, this hope, and this question with open hands instead of a desperate grip. Open hands do not mean you stopped caring. Open hands mean you stopped making them your source. This is the healing I am building in you now. A heart that can miss someone without losing itself. A heart that can wait without worshiping the outcome. A heart that can accept distance without calling itself abandoned. Let this truth settle gently. If this distance is protection, then you do not need to fight it. You need to bring it to me. Let me interpret it, and allow me to show you what I am restoring in the space it created. I am not asking you to call pain good. I am asking you to trust that I can bring good even through what feels painful. Because what you thought was only separation may become restoration. What you thought was only emptiness may become room for my presence. What you thought was only loss may become the beginning of your peace returning home. My child, now let me guide you through this space. Because after you understand that distance may be protection, you still have to live through the ache of it. You still have to wake up and choose not to chase. You still have to face the quiet moments when your heart wants to return to the old pattern. I know that. So I am not asking you to do this without me. I am asking you to let me walk with you through the space their distance created. The first thing I want you to do is stop moving from panic. When you feel the urge to reach, check, explain, or pull them closer, pause before you act. Bring that urgency to me first. Not every urge is guidance. Not every ache is instruction. Sometimes the ache simply needs my presence before it becomes your decision maker. My child, I will teach you to wait without chasing. I will teach you to care without clinging. I will teach you to discern without letting fear of abandonment speak louder than my peace. This will take practice. There may be days when you feel steady, and then one memory, one silence, one sign from them shakes you again. Do not condemn yourself when that happens. Just return to me faster than you return to the cycle. That is how healing grows. Return when you miss them. Return when you feel forgotten. Return when the silence starts telling you a story I never spoke. Come back to my presence and ask, Lord, what is true right now? Not what fear says. Not what loneliness predicts. Not what attachment demands. What is true? The truth is that you are held. The truth is that their distance does not cancel my nearness. The truth is that your peace can be restored even before every question is answered. Let that truth become your anchor. My child, I also want you to guard the space I am creating. If I am giving your heart room to breathe, do not rush to fill that room with old anxiety. Do not keep reopening the wound by searching for signs that only pull you back into confusion. You may need to stop feeding the attachment, not forever as a rule of fear, but for now as an act of wisdom. You may need to stop checking what keeps disturbing your peace. You may need to stop replaying what only keeps your heart tied to uncertainty. You may need to stop calling it discernment when it is actually emotional searching. I will show you gently. I will not shame you. I will guide you. Ask me what is healthy. Ask me what is wise. Ask me what needs a boundary, what needs prayer, and what needs to be released into my hands. A boundary is not hatred. A pause is not rejection. A surrendered step back is not proof that love was never real. Sometimes stepping back is the only way your heart can hear me again. My child, I am not telling you that you must decide the entire future of this connection today. I am not forcing you to label everything right now. I am not asking you to make a permanent decision from temporary pain. I am asking you to let my peace lead the next step. If I lead you to wait, wait with dignity, not desperation. If I lead you to speak, speak from peace, not panic. If I lead you to release, release with trust, not bitterness. Let your response come from prayer, not fear. The space you are in may feel empty, but I can fill it with what attachment could never give you. I can fill it with quiet strength. I can fill it with clarity. I can fill it with the kind of peace that does not rise and fall with another person's closeness. This is my promise to you. I will not leave you alone in the distance. I will not abandon you in the silence. I will not let the empty space become a place where fear has the final word. I will meet you there. I will steady you there. I will restore you there. But you must stop running from the place I am trying to heal. Sit with me long enough for your heart to become quiet. Pray honestly. Let tears come if they come. Let the longing be named without letting it rule you. Say, Lord, I miss them, but I need you more. That prayer will begin to reorder your heart. Because my child, healing does not always begin with a dramatic breakthrough. Sometimes healing begins when you choose one quiet act of surrender, one evening without chasing, one prayer before reacting, one moment where you let me hold the ache instead of handing it back to the person who cannot heal it. Do not despise small steps. Small returns build deep freedom. Every time you choose my presence over panic, your peace grows stronger. Every time you refuse to let loneliness lead, your discernment becomes clearer. Every time you let the space remain in my hands, attachment loses some of its power. This is how I restore what was drained. I restore you layer by layer. I restore your ability to breathe without waiting for them. I restore your confidence that you are loved even in uncertainty. My child, if this part of the message is guiding you, pray this simple prayer. Fill this space with peace. Let it become your prayer when the room feels too quiet. Let it become your prayer when their name rises again. Let it become your prayer when the old attachment tries to convince you that distance means abandonment. I will fill the space. Not always with the answer you expected, but with the presence your soul truly needs. And as my peace fills what they left open, you will begin to see more clearly. You will know when to wait and when to release. You will know when to speak and when to be still. You will know when a connection is being healed and when an attachment is being loosened. Trust me with the process. I am not only showing you what has been stealing your peace, I am teaching you how to keep it. And when loneliness tries to pull you back into the old attachment, I will teach you how to guard what I am restoring in you. My child, before you leave this moment, listen closely. The old pull may return. A memory may rise. A quiet night may make the distance feel heavier. One small sign from them may awaken the hope that used to keep you tied to confusion. But you do not have to go back to the place I am healing you from. You do not have to chase because you feel lonely. You do not have to reopen what I am asking you to place in my hands. You do not have to call attachment love just because it feels familiar. Guard your heart now, not with bitterness, not with pride. Guard it with prayer, wisdom, and peace. When nostalgia makes the past look better than it truly was, bring the memory to me. When loneliness tells you to reach before you pray, pause and let my presence steady you. When fear says distance means rejection, answer with truth. My nearness has not left you. Now pray with me. Lord Jesus, help me surrender this attachment. Help me stop chasing what has been stealing my peace. Help me stop giving fear permission to lead my heart. Fill the space they left with your presence, your wisdom, and your steady love. Protect my heart from returning to old cycles. Teach me to discern what is love and what is dependency. Teach me to wait when you say wait, release when you say release, and rest when you are asking me to be still. My child, if this prayer is your heart, write this declaration in the comments. Jesus, help me surrender this attachment. Write it as an act of faith. Write it as a holy boundary. Write it as the moment you stop letting distance control your peace. And if this message has helped you see that what felt like rejection may be protection, like this video as a quiet agreement that your heart is returning to God's peace. Share it with someone who is hurting over distance, silence, or emotional attachment, because your share may become the word that helps them stop chasing and start healing. Subscribe if you want to keep receiving messages that call your heart back to prayer, discernment, peace, and surrender. Let these reminders help you stay close to me when loneliness tries to make attachment feel safe again. My child, I am not asking you to hate them. I am not asking you to deny what you felt. I am asking you to let me be greater than the space they left. I am your peace in the distance. I am your strength in the silence. I am your refuge when the old longing returns. So breathe. Open your hands. Let me fill the place they could never truly satisfy. What feels empty now can become holy ground. What feels like distance can become protection. And what feels like loss can become the beginning of your heart finally coming home to me.